Let's roll. All right, let's go. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Welcome, everybody, to our Parks meeting. I know this is exactly what people would like to do on a Tuesday afternoon with 70-degree weather outside, so we appreciate you being here. We're going to go ahead and get started with the first item of business, which is approval of the minutes from our last meeting on February 21st. Assume everybody's had a chance to look at them, and if so, if there are no changes, I'd accept a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second. Motion seconded. Any further discussion? Very good. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Motion passes. On the next order of business, it's the Friends of Lakeside Nature, the annual report.
Yes, Commissioners, we're fortunate to have our Friends organization here from the Nature Center and to do a formal introduction, Forrest Decker.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, we have the Friends of the Lakeside Nature Center here today. You can kind of read a little bit what they do, but I just want to kind of add to that they're one of our longest lived and most stable organized groups of volunteers. They really do a great job. We've kind of used them as the model for a lot of our other volunteer groups. So I'm going to introduce them, bring them up, and let them kind of talk. This is Sharon Goff, Debbie Barker, and Larry O'Donnell, and let them tell you a little bit about what they do and what they've done over the past year and
Very good.
everything else. Thanks.
We're delighted to greet you all today. I've met Amy before. She's been out at the Nature Center. And I don't know whether the rest of you have been there, or at least recently. You might have been to the old center, but hopefully you've been to the new one. But Debbie and Larry have put together a wonderful presentation about Lakeside and what we do out there. It's the best kept secret in this area. It's just a wonderful place, isn't it, Amy?
It is.
It really is very special. And what we do out there, our mission is education, conservation, and wildlife rehabilitation. Larry is a past president, and he is business development, and he is big in the conservation area, getting ready for the Big Blue River Rescue. And Debbie is our education person. She just extends the programs and has done a wonderful job in education. She's our web mistress. So if you've looked at our website, look at it. It's really great. And so I'm going to turn this over to them and show you all about Lakeside.
All right, we prepared a short PowerPoint. Short the key word here. I see you got lots on the agenda, so I can go on for hours and hours, as I think Mr. Mecklenburg remembers from the weather panel, but Lakeside Nature Center.
5 years.
And we're the Friends of Lakeside Nature Center. We're supporting Lakeside, and of course we're a park partner. Lakeside Nature Center was started in 1969. After 30 years, it was in the little rock building on the corner down there across from Lake of the Woods. 93, we spearheaded a fundraising campaign for a new building. MDC gave us $1 million. Friends raised $500,000 in cash, and were instrumental in asking the Public Improvement Advisory Committee for another $700,000. After it opened, we added the library, furniture, desk, chairs. The city eventually got some of that new stuff, but when we opened, we had nothing, and so the Friends supplied all that. Off-exhibit housing for our education birds, perimeter fence around the back of it where we have more exhibits. The raptor exhibit enclosure, bald eagle exhibit. The new building opened in 1999, 10 times the size of the old building. So the Friends were started in 1983 as a sport group for Lakeside Nature Center, and we have over 100 active volunteers, probably about 130. We're pretty consistent with that. And they provide hands-on and financial support for our three-pronged mission: environmental education, conservation, and wildlife rehabilitation. And so in the education department, we have Mother Nature Reads. Every Saturday, kids get read an environmental book, get to meet an animal, do a craft. That's a really popular event. We do other events at the center, like Earth Day, which is April 14th this year. We just did Breakfast with the Beast in February, where the kids get to come and eat with costume characters and eat what the beasts do. We do Celebrating Urban Birds. We do a lot of outreach. Eagle Days up at Smithville Lake, Independence Eco Fest, Bridging the Gaps Earth Walk, more. Lots of outreach that we do. And then our signature event, which is Magic Woods. This year is October 12th and 13th. We've been doing this for 20 years. We have costume characters, and actually I think 4 years ago we started with a partnership with the Coterie Kids, Coterie Theater, and so now we have, this is part of their program. And so they dress as wildlife. Mother Nature sprinkles magic dust on their heads so they can understand what the animals say. They go around the trail. It's at night. We got lights. And the different characters talk about what it's like to be a spider, blue jays, raccoon, skunk, possum, squirrel. Very educational, and it's been a real popular program. That's just some of the education stuff we do. Conservation-wise, we do Project Blue River Rescue. This year it's March 31st. We've been doing it for 22 years. We've got almost 5 million pounds of trash collected off of the river. 10,000 tires. The tires are there every year. Firestone partners with them and takes the tires for free. Over 8,000 volunteers. Number of volunteers range now from 500 to 1,000, depending on the kind of weather we get. And we clean up, I think this year we've got something like 20 different sites on the Blue River. We started out just in Swope Park. Now we do it from the mouth of the river, from the Missouri River all the way to the state line. And we do other outreach. At Lakeside, we put in some rain gardens, demonstration plantings. You might have seen the prairie plantings in the front of the center. Do trail work, habitat restoration with Kansas City Wildlands. I don't know, some of you might know, I think we just burned Rocky Point Glade yesterday as part of this restoration work that we do. But that's another picture of Rocky Point being burned at one time. And then we do all kinds of partnerships, all kinds of conservation partnerships. We, starting out with the Department of Conservation and the money they gave us. But we do like Kids, Bugs, Water, and Fish, the Heart of America Fly Fishers, where kids get to learn about how to cast a reel, and Little Blue River Watershed Coalition does that with us. Fly tires are there, tying flies with the local bugs, and learn about how that relates to water quality. We do other things like the Missouri River Watershed Festival with another half dozen partners, one of them Kansas City Water Services. We do the Urban Waters program with EPA and the Boys and Girls Clubs. We do Lake of the Woods water quality monitoring with the Missouri Department of Conservation. And in September, we started the Big Money Speaker Series, which is a monthly presentation. We do it at a restaurant down in the River Market. And we bring in speakers. We talk about the Missouri River. And in your packet, I think the next Big Money Speaker Series is next Wednesday. And the day before that, on Tuesday, we're doing a program at Lakeside at 7 o'clock on a short history of water in Kansas City, which is actually a repeat of one of our Big Money speakers from October. That was so popular. He's got all kinds of early 1800s pictures of the bluff down there on the Missouri River before they tore it down. And very interesting program. And then our third prong, wildlife rehabilitation. All of these are education tools, conservation. We don't do anything without educating people. They bring us wildlife. We get over 2,000 animals yearly. Volunteers help at the center and at home. A lot of times it's people's first encounter with the Nature Center is bringing us an injured or orphaned native Missouri wildlife. We count our success by how many we keep away from the center, because a lot of people will kidnap baby animals from their mothers thinking that they've been abandoned or whatever. So we answer the phones when the center's closed, and we also have a website, and that helps educate the public on our wildlife encounters. The home rehabbers, like I said, we get over 2,000 animals a year. Those animals are stabilized at the Nature Center. And then as soon as they're medically sound, they're able to go to home rehabbers, where they raise them until they're releasable, which means they have to be able to hunt by themselves. If it's a bird, it's got to be able to fly, certain requirements we have. And then probably the most important part of rehab that we do, it's really an essential service for public health and safety, because if we're not available for this service, people will raise these animals themselves. Now, rabies is the big thing that people know wildlife carries, but there's all kinds of other zoonotic diseases that just contact with their waste can be detrimental to children. And that's usually what it ends up with, baby bunnies, squirrels, whatever, that the child has found, the parents try to raise it. So in that regard, we consider rehab essential. And even though we take in baby bunnies, which there certainly isn't any shortage of those, but as an educational tool and also as a fundraiser, because the people that bring us animals donate money to us too. So like in 2009, we built new flight pens at the center, behind the center. Now the old ones were up on the hill where the farm is and Lake Lodge is. So we were able to move those down to the center where they're much easier to take care of. We don't have to worry about volunteers going up there, up on the hill. And that was an $80,000 project that we completed. We give about $500,000 yearly. Cash-wise, our budget's around $40,000. Lots of volunteer hours, 20,000 volunteer hours a year. Comes up to a value of $370,000 using the government standards. And we get probably about $80,000 a year in-kind donations. That's professional services and materials, vets, marketing. We also do quite a bit of the marketing for the center, the printing of the brochures. But fundraising we do through direct mailings. Most of those go to the rehab people. We have specialty fundraising events. We've tried several. We still haven't come up with our signature event yet. We're still looking for that $1 million event. We write grants for all kinds of different things. Then we get donations, corporate, individual, and foundations. Currently, we're working on raising $60,000 for new off-exhibit rafter housing. And that's just a little bit about the center. I invite y'all to come and see us. How many have been here, been to the center? Well, we'd like to give you a behind-the-scenes tour, whether it's the group together or individually, whatever works for you. We could do it before one of the Parks Board meetings if you wanted. We could tour rehab. We can talk about more in depth about some of the stuff we do. Definitely you need a tour of rehab to see what really goes on over there. So we would, if you'd be amenable, we would like to be in contact and set something up with you.
Very good.
Great. That'd be great.
Great, that would be great.
Thank you.
Questions about what we do? You know, I start putting this thing together and I'm like, oh, I do a lot more than I ever remember.
And I think Larry left one out that I'm aware of, is that the Blue River cleanup and the Blue River maintenance and saving the Blue River, they've had influence on the Corps of Engineers that changed their plans from gray infrastructure to hold water to going back to the natural oxbows, natural plantings in the Blue River, which is just going to enhance it for centuries to come and not have to be rebuilt after it goes through its normal lifetime. So that's another issue. This group is amazing in everything they do and the way their fingers touch so many things.
Well, thank you, Dave. I did leave that out about the Blue River Rescue. We also do tree plantings and honeysuckle removal on that day. And this year we're looking at doing something down in probably along Coal Mine Road, where they finally got the new road cut through there, and there's areas where we'll plant trees and bushes, maybe habitat.
It's incredible all the things that you're doing, and not only what you do, but how you're doing it and extending the money that you have and the partnerships, and it's incredible.
You know, we couldn't do it without the partnerships. That's one. There's, besides the education that's available to us from all of our different partners, There's, you know, there's just support that we never know where it's coming from at what time. You know, we've done stuff with the Audubon Society, and then we're building the new flight pins, and I find out that the owner of Tam Lumber is on the board of the Audubon Society and supports birds, and so then we got them to give us all the lumber at the cost. So it's, you know, everything's just out there, and we try and pull it together when we can and where we can.
Yeah, it's a great story.
That was great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, moving forward, we have our next item, which is resolution number 29166.
Yes, Commissioners, this is approval of an agreement for the management of the Kansas City Zoo with the organization Friends of the Zoo. You have a memo in your packet that kind of outlines the background. We're going into basically our second 10-year period of time with this agreement with the FOTS mange and the zoo. And of course, a lot of things are described in this as far as some of the successes at the zoo and some of the upcoming programs. This would take us to December 31st of 2016. We would recommend approval of this agreement, and if you have any questions from the zoo perspective, Randy is here.
Oh, great.
Welcome.
Welcome, sir.
Thanks. Thanks, Commissioners. Happy to be here. You know, I started in Kansas City at the zoo in November of '03, where we were just sort of coming to the end of the second year of this agreement. It seems amazing that we're about to enter the second 10 years of the agreement. And I think we've really formed a great partnership, and it's been a pleasure working with Mr. McHenry, Steve Lampone, and you know, these people in the back row here. I know the people in my back row are always the ones that do all the work, and I think Mark and Steve would agree that they've got a great staff. It's been fun to work with them, with Forrest Decker, Sherry Van Winkle, Heidi Downer, Travis Keeper, Bob Lawler, and Carmen, who I know keeps Mark on track, and my assistant who tries to keep me on track. We think we've got a great partnership that we've been able to improve the zoo with the Parks Department's help. And we have a better product. Attendance is up. You're all aware that we had the second highest attendance ever last year, and we think we're going to surpass the all-time highest this year. If this spring is any indication, if you saw our parking lot today, the zoo is just becoming the place to go when you've got an hour or two. And I think our new county taxing district, our discounts to the county residents, March 31st will be our first free day for all county residents of Jackson and Clay County. We're just looking for a great year, a great future for the zoo, and we really couldn't do it without this great private-public partnership that you're getting indoctrinated into, and I think it's been a fun experience and a great experience for the residents of Kansas City.
That's great. That's great.
I just want to commend you and your staff. It's just amazing, all this stuff, as I learn more about the zoo and everything that you've been involved with, and just watching everything go up since you've been here, the numbers, and I saw the ones for February or January and February, and amazing. So.
And it's amazing, I'm sure you see it in the golf courses too, what a 60 and 70 degree day will do in January and February to put people in the gate. It has a tremendous, it's better than 3 feet of snow. Yes. And I would also like to commend our friends over at Lakeside Nature Center. They take a tremendous amount of burden off of the zoo. The zoo I was at in Omaha, we were kind of by default the rehab center, and we'd end up with the baby bunnies, and there are plenty of them in Omaha also, and all of those animals, and which trained staffs are always trying to find extra time because they don't want to turn anything away. They do a tremendous job in rehabbing animals and providing a service for the community. So we look forward to working with them even more.
That's great. Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Randy. Are there any other questions of Randy? Any other comments?
No, I'll move for approval of the agreement.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second.
So the motion is seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Motion passes.
Thanks all.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you. Resolution number 29167.
Yes, Commissioners, this is an agreement with AEG Live for the 2012 Rock Fest. The scheduled date is May 12th of 2012, and the location is Penn Valley Park. You have a memo in your packet from Shannon Dooley, and she's here to answer your questions, and also I know we have a guest from AEG here also.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Larry Hobeck is here with AEG if you have any specific questions. This year's Rockfest is May 12th, and I think we'll all agree if the weather can stay like this, it was much better last year with the weather, so it'll be a great event. If you have any questions, Larry's here.
Are there any questions of Larry? Larry, you want to give us a few words about the event itself and the lineup and?
Well, I don't know if I saw any of you there last year or the previous years. I've had the pleasure of being the site director for the event since 2004, and we have moved it around a little bit, and now we are going into, I want to say, our third year at the exact location. Shannon, you might correct. But the thing of it is we continue to tweak it. Every year we find something new that's in fact, we were the first ones that, I know it's a requirement this year to recycle, but we did it last year. We serve everything in a cup, but prior to that, it's aluminum cans, the beers that we sell out there. So we found a way to make sure that we control the aluminum cans, and we raised quite a few $1,000s for Autism Speaks. It's something that AEG has tried to do for many years. This year, we basically last year we did a lot of work to work with the neighborhoods. We developed a really good team of officers and off-duty officers and a wide scope of cleanup. We really addressed the parking issues last year, even more so. And this year it's just we're going to continue along that path. And we made really good friends with the Friends of Penn Valley Parks last year, and you know what, it helped us, it helped them, and it just really made it for more of a community type event.
Very good. Great. Any other questions? Here none. Very good. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
So motion is seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Resolution passes. Thank you. Resolution number 29168.
Yes, Commissioners, this is a facility use agreement, concessions for the Kansas City Family Fest for Jiggle Jam. And Shannon has a memo in your packet on that one. It would be the basically the Memorial Weekend, a scheduled time, and also we have a guest on that one too.
Yes, Jiggle Jam's celebrating their 5th birthday. Kelly Wenzel is here. If you have any specific questions, this is down along Grand Boulevard and Crown Center area. Great family, kid-friendly event. I was there last year and the year before, and it's just so fun to watch all the kids jamming to all the music and everything.
Well, great. We'd love to hear a little bit about the event.
Yeah.
Well, we just want to extend a big thank you to the Parks Department because you guys have really helped Jiggle Jam get to 5 years. It is a family music fest, and our mission is to have an event that serves families togetherness, and that we as parents like to go to it as well. Not all things that us parents go to we enjoy as much as our children do, but this one we do strive. We have music that appeals to all ages. It's something that grandparents, parents, everybody goes to. Last year, even with a little inclement weather, we still managed about 25,000 people over the 2 days. It serves little people. It's really a 5-year-old is the average age. So this year being the 5th birthday, we know how big deal five is with Legoland. And the Sea Life opening, we expect some really great things to draw regionally. We're excited. We want to keep it around. Obviously, we're trying to keep costs low for families and get everybody there. So it really depends on sponsorships, and you guys have really assisted in not raising rates so that we can still stay there and keep it affordable.
Very good. Are there any
I've
questions?
been every year, all
Oh,
5
yeah.
years.
Oh,
So.
yeah.
Oh, good. Well, then you might be getting out of our age bracket soon because we
I
get to
know.
recycle. My 9-year-old, my
Exactly.
9-year-old told me that the inflatables were lame this year, so I thought you'll be volunteering next year.
Exactly.
Very good.
So,
Very good.
Great.
Well, great. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so motion is seconded.
Stay standing, ladies.
Yeah, very good. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good, resolution passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Resolution number 29169.
Let's kind of fast forward to the Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
And another agreement before you commissioners for the Irish Fest. And again, Shannon and Kelly here to answer any questions you have.
10th annual.
Yes.
So we get another birthday.
Okay.
It's 10 years. Kansas City Irish Fest has grown to it's 100,000 people over 3 days. It has become the event of Kansas City. It's family friendly. We have more kids, honestly, at Irish Fest than we do at Jiggle Jam, if you can believe it. And we love it. The Irish heritage here in Kansas City is strong. 1 in 10 people claim Irish roots, and everyone claims it on that weekend. So it does attract everyone. We're really excited to do some partnerships with Ireland this year. And again, we thank you. We've gotten to grow with you. We've gone down Grand Boulevard and are now in Washington Park, and we're pretty well taking it over. We've inched into it, but we're pretty much now the whole thing. And we're excited about it, and we again appreciate you guys supporting us to grow as we have and keep serving families on Memorial Day weekend or Labor Day weekend. So,
It's a great event.
thank you.
It's only gotten better year after year.
Thank you.
Very good. Are there any questions? All right, seeing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is seconded. Seeing no further discussion. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Resolution passes.
John Paul, before we go on, I'd like to make a couple of comments
Yes,
about
sir.
these three items. Economic activity.
Yes, sir.
Based on some standards that you get, Rockfest, if it draws 100,000 people, the potential economic activity is $2,700,000. And that's great revenue to the city that is directly related to Parks and Recreation and what we bring to the city. I think we oftentimes forget about the influence we have on the city's income, and I think this is a good point to bring out. Going to Jiggle Jam, if 55,000 people show up for that, a potential $1,485,000 of economic activity. Well, no, that's not Jiggle Jam, pardon me, that's Rockfest. And then the Irish Festival is the $2,700,000, and Jiggle Jam on those same bases brings in around $810,000. So we're looking at virtually $5 million of economic activity from three things we've approved today in this board, and I think that's something that everybody needs to know. And we need to emphasize the economic value of Parks and Recreation and its affiliations and its partnerships to this city.
Thank you for those comments. I would sort of just add one other thought to that. I don't think it would be possible without the sort of staff and your willingness to continue to work with these other people. And the fact that they come back year after year is a testament to your hard work in working with them to making sure that these events are done well, they're done right, at the same time as we've put some additional sort of requirements on them around recycling and I'm sure around usage. The fact that the service is so well received on our end in terms of delivered from our end to them is a testament, I think, to the sort of, the value and the character of our staff. So we really appreciate that, because they could very easily go to other parts of the city. They could go outside of Kansas City, and they choose to continue to stay in Kansas City, Missouri, and to use our facilities, to use our parks, and to use our boulevards, and it's just a great thing to see. So we really appreciate the efforts of the staff to make that happen year after year. Okay. Thank you for those comments, Barbara.
Okay.
Moving on, resolution number 29170.
Yes, Commissioners, again, another item that Shannon Dooley is bringing you today.
Excellent.
This one is out at Jerry Smith Park at 135th and Prospect. It's with the Heart of America, Boy Scouts of America, called the Wild West Cubs. Shannon.
Yes, day camp. This hopes to become an annual event in a Kansas City park. John Hobbs is here with the Boy Scouts. Come on up here. This is a week-long event, and it's going to be out at Jerry Smith Park. And I'll let John explain some of the activities and all the stuff for the Scouts.
Very
Great,
good.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for having us. I'm going to let John talk mostly to the activities and what we'll be doing, but we just really look forward to having the opportunity to work with the parks and you guys. I think Mr. McHenry is an Eagle Scout himself. I understand, is that correct? Cool, very good. And so we really look forward to getting involved and seeing what we can do for young people within the park system. And I know one thing we'll be doing during our camp is doing a service project as well, and I'll let John kind of talk to that and a little bit more about activities. He's our volunteer director for the camp. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for letting us come out today. We're looking at affecting about 450 Cub Scouts this year. So it's between the ages of 6 and about 11. to include the staff that comes out with it. We're going to run them through about 25 different stations, program areas. Some of those we have already partnered with a gentleman named Shannon Tyree through Kansas City Wildlife to help with service projects while we're there, to teach them about the Leave No Trace that is part of scouting. So we go out and we use facilities. We try to leave them better than what we were, clean them up while we're there, and make them just that much better for everybody else while we're there, when they come back next time. We've actually already been doing service projects out there in the wildlife section of the grasslands, and so this is just kind of a natural pairing of the two items, because you guys have the park with the ponds and so forth, and lots of tree areas that we're going to be able to use to keep our guys safe from the extreme weathers that we get. But yeah, it's a week-long event. I encourage you to come out, particularly during lunch. We have special things going on during lunch, during their break, so they can do something a little bit different than just scout knots and doing some of the cooking, fishing, and are we doing armpit fudge this year? I don't know about that. They got to learn cooking skills too, so that they're helpful at home. But do you have any questions for me? So this is one of those, like everybody else, we can go on for hours about the things we love. So.
Very good. Are there any questions? That's a great event. Glad. Thank you so much for using it. Yeah, we really appreciate that.
Worked out well.
That's great. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
So motion seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Resolution passes.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Next is resolution number 29171 related to the urban forestry plan.
Yes, Commissioners, this next item is for Urban Forestry Management Plan. Forrest Decker, our Superintendent of Parks, and previously our City Forester, has been working on this plan for some time. I know he shared a copy of the document with you previous, and he's here today to ask your approval of that document.
Yes, good afternoon again, Commissioners.
Afternoon.
This is just bringing to you formally the plan that we presented in January. As we all know, the urban forest provides a lot of tangible and intangible financial and environmental benefits. This plan is basically just a framework for management of our urban forest. One of the biggest benefits I see from having a plan in place is just providing a goal or a bar to reach more than anything. So,
Very good.
so we would request your endorsement of the plan today.
Are there any questions for us? I know we've had several discussions about this. So.
Yeah, just comments. I think it's great and appreciate you putting it together. I think it's going to be a great framework, and I'm excited to get this passed today.
Yeah, very much.
And, well, like I say, it's got benefits other than beauty and all of this type of thing. When you start talking about climate change, the heat islands within a city are greatly diminished by trees and forest. If you don't believe me, go stand under a tree on a hot sunny day and you'll see what benefit they have. And I think this is something that's great for the economy, great for the ecology, and helps bring into play a lot of other movements that are going on in the city.
Very much so. Great.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Yes, sir.
Just one. Forrest and I this morning attended the mayor's city staff,
Yes.
which is his program for monitoring city services and hopefully improving city services over time. And one of the things that was discussed this morning in the presentation at the mayor's meeting was storm damage in relationship to how quickly we can take care of those matters. And our numbers look pretty good. I'll pass that on down. And I bring that up because it was timely this morning, but also part of the urban forestry plan is to deal with storm damage. Whenever, of course, the wind out there today is probably blowing around a little bit of trees too, but
Sure.
whenever we have to deal with trees, they're a beauty in this city, but they also become a liability sometimes.
Absolutely.
Heavy wind and ice and things like that. So having a solid plan to deal with that is very important.
Yep. That is one of the attachments to the plan is our FEMA-approved emergency response plan.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay. See no other comments or questions. Let's go ahead and could I get a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned seconded. Any further discussion? Very good. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Resolution passes. Thank you.
Thanks, Forrest.
Resolution number 29172.
Yes, Commissioner, this is a concession use agreement with Brookside Soccer Club for the soccer fields here in Swope Park. Would go in effect March 17th and carries through the month of November this year. The memo from Mark Bolin outlines the details as far as the compensation and the scope of work involved, and Mark is not able to be with us today, but Tammy Tritica was here, and Tammy actually manages this contract. So if you have any questions, Tammy Tritica.
They serve a lot of kids.
Yeah.
A
My
lot of
kids
kids
included, they're on.
Yeah, a lot of kids in soccer down here in Swope Park. They've been a partner with us, and they also work with Sporting KC on the use of that field and the maintenance on that field as well. So if anyone has any questions.
I think it's just it's a great soccer league, it's a great organization, and glad we're able to continue to partner with them as well. But you're right, they serve a lot of kids, and they run a really tight ship, and I've only seen it get better over the past 5 years I've been engaged with them, so, great. Yes, sir.
The comments I would make is that from what I've understood, as a new board member, haven't been actively involved in it, but their maintenance and their care of the fields are a tremendous benefit to Parks and Recreation, and we really appreciate that kind of partnership. So thank you.
Any further questions, comments? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Resolution passes. On to resolution number 29173.
Yes, Commissioners, Tammy is here again on an agreement with the North Kansas City Baseball Association. And the memo in your packet kind of outlines the scope and all the different fields that are utilized. And here again, Tammy's here, and I know we have a guest. Mike, I guess?
Mike Cantel with North Kansas City Area Baseball is here today. They are our largest baseball provider north of the river, and you can tell by the number of parks that they use. And they, like Brookside Soccer, supplement their game fields with maintenance that we just don't have the capacity to give them. So I'm going to let Mike come up and tell you a little bit about the numbers of the kids that they're serving.
Very good. Thank you.
I'd like to apologize for the hat. I'm 90% of my time outdoors, so I apologize to the board, but I hope you forgive me. I need to remember that I do come indoors from time to time. So. And it is windy out there. If Kansas
But it pays to advertise.
Yeah, exactly.
And it is baseball after all, so there you go.
I'm a big fan of North Kansas City Area Baseball. You know, and Ed Kamler, if you guys knew Ed, he retired after 30 years, and I have the opportunity and pleasure really to kind of jump in his shoes, and hopefully I can last as long as he has. But we do utilize this particular topic today is based on water well. We do occupy those 5 fields on a regular basis through spring, and then in addition to that, we have our own private sports complex off of 152 in Brighton at A.J. Wilson Sports Complex, where we have an additional 10 fields. And in last year, in 2011, we had over 4,400 registered participants, and that ranges from 6 and under all the way up through 18 and under age kids. So, this year we're on pace to grow. We had 190 teams roughly last year. We're on pace to end up between 200 and 210 this year. So it's growing, and certainly we want to continue to use water well and want to continue our relationship with Kansas City Parks there, of course. We have about 215,000, just shy of that, in terms of participants. If you look at it from a per game perspective, we have about 215,000 people come throughout the year to watch their kids showcase their baseball skills. And then in addition to that, obviously the coaches required from a volunteer perspective. We have over 800 volunteers on an annual basis, and that proves to come out to about a little bit more than 60,000 volunteer hours. So we do have a strong presence north of the river. We're the largest baseball organization north of the river. So we do want to continue to be partners, and hopefully it's worked out so far this far. So
very good.
But you guys have any additional questions? Oh, I wanted to make mention too. I apologize. 70% of our organization is in Platte County, 29% of it is in Clay, and I apologize, reverse that. 70 in Clay, 29 in Platte, and 1% in surrounding counties. So thought I'd make mention of that. We have a good presence in those 2 counties, obviously.
Fantastic. Any questions, comments?
I spent a lot of time at A.J. Wilson growing up. So.
Did you? Me too. I played there as well.
Yeah. It's another example of a great partnership that this department has, and we just thank you for that, and look forward to many other years.
Excellent. Thank you all.
Okay, great. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is seconded, very good. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Very good, resolution passes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
On to the director's report.
Yes, major construction, Travis Kiefer.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. You should have in front of you 3 stacks of photos. The first stack has pictures of some cat equipment on the front of it. Looks something like this. This is the Longview Aquatic Center. And that's Barstow Construction is the contractor on the job. That estimated completion date is 26th of May, or actually that's the opening date, so we're looking at May for completion on that project. What you see in that first picture is about 75% complete on a concession building, and that's the small pool facility right to your right there. Next photo is the, you can see the abutments for the bridge that will cross over the Lazy River. Next picture itself in the foreground is the Lazy River itself, and in the background you can see in the forms with the 4 columns around it, that's the swirl bowl. And the last photo in that set is of the filter building itself, and you can see that light standard in front of it, and then that large manhole structure is the stormwater discharge structure, and also for emptying out the facility in the wintertime.
Exciting.
It's coming together.
Yes, it is.
Any questions on the Longview pool? The next stack was of the Ashland Square Park improvements. Now, contrary to what you might think on that first photo, that guy is not laying down taking a nap on the job down there. He's actually checking the drainage at the bottom of that column. So you can see that that's a steel structure erected there, and as the photos progress, you can see they're getting the roof system on, and that's with the solar panel that will power up the lighting inside that facility, and the picnic tables and so forth associated with that. There's a grill on the outside, waste containers, and side obviously has been seeded and straw mulched on that site. That one was wrapped up at the end of January. So
The solar panels, what do they power? Just some lights?
the lighting in the shelter. That was about a $124,000 project. That was Gunter Construction on that. Steve Hatfield was project manager on that project. So.
It's great to see the solar panels.
Looks like it'll be relatively maintenance-free.
Relatively, yes. I
Virtually
mean, as
no
far
utility
as,
cost or
yeah,
anything, so.
powder-coated metal structure, so I mean, that's, that's about the best available.
That's fantastic.
The last package you'll have is the Swope Park Trails. Heather Runkle's the project manager on that one, and you can see some of the information she's put together. Again, that's D&D Construction is the contractor on that project, and she has some of the photos as far as what's been completed to date. The last one of that series, last page there, will give you an indication of where the trails are going in overall in that park. So that one's progressing nicely. Any questions on any of those?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those will be great. Those will be great shape for the Ethnic Enrichment Festival. They have those there.
Yes.
That'd be fantastic.
Very
That's
good
wonderful.
point. Much needed too.
Heidi Downer, marketing.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Well, I'm excited because it's about to be the greenest time of the year with St. Patrick's Day coming up. One of our favorite holidays, obviously, for the whole city and Parks and Recreation as well. We are going to be in the Brookside Warm-Up Parade this Saturday, the 10th at 2 p.m. So I know some of you aren't able to join us like you may thought you were, but there's still opportunity if you want to ride in that float or the actual Kansas City St. Patrick's Day Parade, which is the following Saturday at 11 a.m., and that's the one that goes down Broadway and ends up in the Westport area. So we will be wearing our green and showing our green in both of those parades, and please join us if you can. We are also getting kind of down to the final days here before the Flower Lawn and Garden Show. As you know, we do partner with the Home Builders Association, and we do the Flower Lawn and Garden Show component of the Home and Flower Lawn and Garden Show, which is at Bartle Hall the 23rd through the 25th of March. I don't know if any of you have had the chance to be there before and see our presence that we have at the show. We have a very large area. We have a stage that we book with talent, which showcasing a lot of our ethnic groups, the Stone Lion Puppet Theater, who we have a partnership with. Also, some of our community centers will bring out some of their dance groups and perform on that stage. And we also have an area where we have some of our partners displaying their information and handing out their information. The KC Green booth is in our area as well, which is all the city's green initiatives and sustainable efforts. And then we'll have the Northeast Arts, which will have a large presence in our area as well, and they come out and do children's art activities and promote chalk walk. So it's a very active area and a lot of fun for us. We're out there for the 3 days and a day setting up. As you know, on your schedule, I believe, is the Landscape Awards. We do present those at 7 p.m. on Friday evening to the gardens, or the landscapers when they do their garden areas. And we have, I think we're doing three awards this year. So if you guys want to be there to present those, that would be terrific. If you want to just come out and work the booth and promote Parks and Recreation, I have shifts available all weekend long. So just let me know. And I've been talking about this for months, and also this is about to wrap up too, is the activities guide. The spring and summer activities guide will be inserted in the Kansas City Star on the 25th. So we are doing the final drafts and revisions on that publication. Thank you. And then I mentioned this before, and we are also kind of getting into the testing and the beta testing of that online parks finder that I've discussed, where our residents or anybody can get online and go through and request certain amenities and certain features and be able to figure out what park those are in and what park, where the parks are all located, all 220 of them that we now have within the city. So we're hoping to take that live the end of this month. So our target date is March the 21st, and like I said, I've been working with IT on that, so we're very excited to have that capability hopefully up and running by the end of the month. We have, as you know, also the Employee Awards breakfast coming up in May, working on that, and then also diving right into working on our City of Fountains bike ride, which we have done now. This will be the third year we partner with the Kansas City Bike Club and Trails Kansas City and present a tour, City of Fountains tour. There is going to be, I think, 3 different rides that you can go on, different lengths. One's really family friendly. There's a guided tour of the fountains, and then there's some other longer rides. We switched it up a bit this year where we're going to end, everyone will end at the same time. Usually everyone kind of took off at the same time, and then it just kind of ended, you know, because people were doing shorter routes or longer routes. Now everyone's going to end at the same time, and we're going to kind of have a festival atmosphere for just a couple hours and a nice celebration at the conclusion of the ride. That is going to take place on Father's Day, which is June the 17th this year. So get ready to ride. Some of the dedications that we have coming up, of course, we have our groundbreaking for the 169 highway, and that is on our interchanges, and that is on next Monday. And I believe Commissioner Mecklenburg, you're going to be there to represent us. Great. I'll get an agenda to you. I'm working with Meg Hunger on that. We'll get it to you here in a couple days. She thought she might have something tomorrow. But that is Monday at 10 a.m., and that's going to take place in the south parking lot of the Northland Cathedral, which you can get to, I think, off of 99th and North Oak. And North Oak, yeah. So hopefully it won't be so windy.
Well, and the comment on that'll open up 2 potential parkways into the new First and Second Creek development that's going to be a 20 or 30-year development, anticipating 70,000 additional residences in the Northland. So residents in the Northland over a period of time. So basically it's a good linchpin to open that up and to make it a quality development.
Very good. we're beginning our countdown to Fountain Day. The fountains will be turned on April the 10th, so we're looking at just over a month before our city springs back to life fountain-wise. And Fountain Day will take place at the Marlboro Fountain at 79th and Paseo this year. And that's usually just kind of a brief little, you know, we say something, City of Fountains Board says something, and then we flip the switch and turn on the fountain. So that's always.
Is that any specific just about that date itself? Or is
it's always the second Tuesday of April.
Yeah, that's
That's what's specific about that date.
Yeah, I just didn't know. Okay, great.
Is that a board meeting? Is that a board meeting week? No. No, good.
Okay, and then one thing that we will add to this calendar, and I'll talk to you more about later, is May 12th, it's a Saturday as well, we're going to dedicate the Brush Creek Trail as part of kind of a kickoff to Bike Week, and do a small little bike ride with the Black Healthcare Coalition, I believe, along the Brush Creek Trail there. So, other than that, working on, of course, the marketing and the opening of The Bay in Longview Tract, and I have Tammy here who can talk a little bit about what we're doing on that.
We worked with Words and Pictures, and we've got a logo to show you. We'll pass that out. So now we after today we'll get that out on all of our printed material. It'll go up on the website. We also have, I met with last week with one of the South neighborhood groups out at the Trailside Center, and we have a flyer, but it's not the same logo.
This was our temporary logo until we were able to get one from Words and Pictures, so don't be confused.
Yeah, do not be confused. The first one is really the logo. This one, it just had, we needed to get something into the neighborhood's hands about the pricing structure out at the Bay and try to get the word out. Season passes are our bread and butter. We know it's not going to be this year. It wasn't the first year at the Springs either. It took it a whole year before it really took off, but we're also starting so much earlier than we did with the Springs as far as selling those season passes. We're going to sell them at Hillcrest, be online, but please pass that out to neighbors and friends to let them know about the Bay. And we hope you like the logo. We were pretty excited about it.
That's great. And this, of course, these the admission fees, they're reflective of our last meeting.
Right. They are all what you all did last week.
Great.
Can you send us a PDF of this? Would that be possible?
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to get the new logo in it, though.
Yes,
So we can have that to you before the end of the week.
Okay,
End of the
very
week?
good. Thank
Great.
you.
That'd be great. Okay.
Heidi, back to Parks Finder.
Yes.
Will that have the statues and the other historical significance identified on those parks when they go to that, you know, looking for things?
Yes, everything that is in our reference book.
Okay.
Okay, so if the park has the statue in it, it'll show up. You can also search the statues and monuments and fountains on the City of Fountains website as well. They have a really nice new website that they put up a couple months ago, and it's got a searchable feature as well. But yes, if it's in the reference book, it's going to be on the database.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, looks like nothing for the public hearing at this point. All right. Want to do the calendar review really quick?
Sure, more than glad to. I'm going to mention a couple other things too. Heidi's done a good job of covering the events that are coming up related to the flower show and other activities, groundbreakings. I might make a reference back to the MPRA conference that several members of the staff, along with Commissioner Mecklenburg, attended last week. And highlight the fact that two of our partner organizations were recognized with citation awards, one of those being the Friends of Roanoke Park that presented the master plan and all the good work they're doing as a conservancy group to help maintain Roanoke Park was one of the groups recognized. And the other one is the Enshriners organization. We've had a long-term relationship with Enshriners, and they've done multiple projects over a period of about 20-plus years. And Ollie Gates, of course, is the chairman of the board of the Enshriners, and other members of that organization attended the conference, were recognized at the banquet on last Thursday evening. Other couple things I wanted to mention on the calendar. This is kind of getting a little bit ahead, but I think we've got it worked out now where we're doing tours on the 14th and 21st of May. Is that correct, Carmen?
Yes.
I think everybody's got that information. One thing I'll mention, the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, and that's coming up this Thursday. I think everybody's had a chance to provide their RSVP on that to Carmen. And then another item, getting a little bit further into the spring, on the 15th of May, which is a luncheon meeting, we have 3 projects that are up for the Cornerstone Awards. This is, of course, the EDC of Kansas City does the Cornerstone Awards. The 3 projects are the Kansas City Zoo Polar Bear Exhibit, the Shoal Creek Parkway Extension, and the Just Off Broadway Theater. And so we don't know who the winners are, but those are all finalists for that recognition on the 15th of May. Back to the month of March, we've got all these meetings scheduled with the 6 different council districts to go over their PIAC projects. And I believe that's the current status of that. And kind of pass that on down and see if it looks like you all's attending those. They're getting toward the latter part of the month of March. And then kind of going back to the March calendar, Platte County Park Partners on the 14th, up at Zona Rosa, and let's see, Starlight Theater Board meeting on the 27th, and Brush Creek Community Partners on the 30th. That covers the calendar.
Great. Thank you very much. Is there anything else that we have in business? Commissioners, anything? No. All right.
Very good.
All right. With that, I will adjourn the meeting. Adjourn.
Let's do that, make sure.